Coming up on Hold All Tickets, a big edition, of course, Group 1 racing coming your way from Rosehill. But Lammy, an English digital purchase caught our attention.
Yes, a $2.5 million yearling is off to Hong Kong in a few months.
And Pegs, you're back from holiday, mate.
Yes, I was in New Zealand.
He's got the accent. He's literally been doing it all week. It's been pretty painful, but a lot of good tips coming your way. And apparently Kanga's shouting the bar at Caulfield on Saturday. Hold All Tickets starts right now. Hello and welcome to Hold All Tickets. It is Thursday, the 13th of March for an action-packed weekend here in Melbourne. Footy's back, the F1, we have Vobis Day at Caulfield to top it all off. What Kanga's going to apparently shout the bar if Pride of Jenny can win the Peter Young Stakes. I'm your host, Alex Donnelly, joined as always by James Lamb. Lammy, how are we, mate?
Very well. I'm looking forward to seeing what Pride of Jenny does first up. And good on Kanga. He's also putting the footy on the big screen too, which has been a demand from a lot of punters. So man of the people, the Kanga.
So what we've got during that time, before we get to it, we've got Geelong and Fremantle and then Sydney and Brisbane in a grand final rematch. That's good stuff from Kanga.
Geelong and Freo playing in 35-degree temperatures, round one. That'll be nice.
That'll be fun. There was a bit of cramping last week for some of your boys we saw.
Yes, we don't need to get into that.
Yeah. And he's back from holiday. He tipped a few winners and he's decided to grace us with his presence. It's Xavier Pegum. Pegs, how are we, mate?
What is doing? I tell you what, I'm might even put in a bit of sick leave this Saturday, considering Kanga's shouting the bar. So you'll know where to find me.
Well, we've got to hope Pride of Jenny gets up first for a free beer. Of course, we are brought to you by BoomBet here on Hold All Tickets. Great fixed odds, more value and more boom moments. Sign up today and get in on the boom. Now, make sure you do follow us on social media. Of course, it is at Punters. Get around us on YouTube. Make sure you give us a like on this video as well as subscribe and hit that notifications bell. So anytime we do a video, it comes up and you just get notified. There's a lot going on at the moment across the Punters. I suppose, what is it? Just our whole set of
social domain.
Yeah, we've got that. We've got tips for Hong Kong, Group 1 racing. Caitlin Mallion's tipping up a storm at the moment. World Pool, everything else going on, as well as our midweek stuff from Racing Victoria. Of course, Facebook, Instagram, and X, all the good stuff that goes on there each and every week. All right, Lammy, this is your time to shine. Self-Trumpeter of the week after a big week of racing and footy starting again.
Indeed. And I have got a bit of a mixture. I've got a footy one in there as well, which you sent through, which I did enjoy. Yep. So we'll get into it. 11 votes this week, so double digits again. We'll start with one vote for Darren Flindell. I'm a big fan of Darren. I like him as a caller, and he seems like a ripping fella. But I have to give him a vote here. Anthony Manton posted about King of Pop winning the Black Opal and posed the question whether that horse is a bit of a sleeper for the Golden Slipper. And Darren replied with, "I hope so, ... Backed him last year at 100-1. So good little toot there, and good luck to him with that ticket.
Donnelly areas.
2 votes for Name, N-A-I-M.
Okay.
Non-racing, but this is a good one. A serious bit of self-insertion from this Hawks supporter. He posted this. Before Will Day was even given a chance as a midfielder, I was with Luke Bruce and Jarman Impey, and they both said to me, watch Will Day become a midfielder. So just a bit of name dropping there. Well called, boys. Not just a midfielder, but a superstar. So he sort of made it about him a little bit, saying he was hanging out with a couple of Hawk stars there. So he gets 2 votes for that. 2 votes for punter Cam. Now, we've seen this style of trumpet before, a photo trumpet.
Yep.
So Cam has posted, this Cyclone Alfred is taking the piss. Apparently I'm in the eye of the storm. Hashtag North Brisbane. So he's put up a photo to go with that tweet, and a quarter of the pic is the actual sky. The rest is his backyard with a big pool, a very nice looking pool. So one of the comments on that is basically trying to show off your pool, which is exactly what he was doing. So he gets 2 votes for that.
That harkens back to, was it Mick Gannon who did the video by the pool last year?
Yeah, the pool. And someone else posted, I think it might have been Kyle, maybe Racing Kyle, posted a photo of his watch, his lovely watch there that had nothing to do with what he was tweeting. Anyway, 3 votes, John Walter. Serious bit of post-race expertise from John here. After linebacker won the Randwick Guineas at $9, it didn't really budge from that price. It was sort of $9 the whole way through. John posted, how did that not firm? Hashtag linebacker after the race. So I thought he must have tipped it, but there was nothing tweeted pre-race regarding linebacker, and it wasn't in his top 2 numbers in an 8-horse field.
Yep.
So it's a strange post from him. So he gets 3 votes for that. 3 votes to round us out for the week. Brad Davidson.
Oh, he's back.
Now there is good trumpeting. Wayne the Wiz Ormond, for example. We saw that from Wayne last week. And there is irritating trumpeting, which I think is where this
I know
sits.
I know what this is already.
So after Tom Kitten won the All-Star Mile, Brad posted, Vidad last week, Tom Kitten this week. Both branded non-winners and both the latest to prove it's the most overplayed factor in the great game. Has he surely confused Tom Kitten with Tom Melbourne,
Yeah.
hasn't he?
Because Tom Kitten won first up last preparation.
Tom
And then,
Kitten has won 6 from 22 and over 5 million in prize money.
yeah, he was first up last prep. He was a winner. He was 5th in the Bill Ritchie, where it was just back and run on. Got beaten by Chow Wolf in an Epsom, ran 4th in a King Charles, and then ran 3rd in a Golden Eagle before he should have won the Futurity, and then he's won the All-Star Mile.
How's he lumping him in with Vidad
Yeah.
to try to make there's no such thing? Because every time a non-winner
Yeah.
wins a race,
Davo
he gets on
pops
his
up.
high horse. But how's he lumping him in with Vidad? Vidad won a maiden on debut and then took 15 starts
Yeah.
to win another race, most of those in sort of benchmark.
Hinged went to like 1,100 days without a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's put Tom
Poor
Kitten in
Tom.
with Vidad. Yeah, I know.
Justice for Tom. Tom's an all-star.
So it was...
I still just remember when Vidad won last start and everyone's like, I was there with Sankey, we're the only ones in the office.
Yeah.
I was like, did that just happen? Everyone will remember that moment where Vidad finally won.
Yeah.
You'd be reverse black booking all the horses that Vidad won that day. That was
Yeah.
a shocking
Yeah,
race.
you would.
But 3 votes for Davo. He can't stop getting on his high horse when these non-winners, and I don't think anyone's ever called Tom Kitten a non-winner.
They had that prep where Nash slaughtered him, which was maybe this time last year before they gelded him. But Nash was slaughtering
He's
him.
a horse who he can find trouble
Yeah.
because of his pattern, but that doesn't mean he's a
Well, ever since
winner.
he's copped the snip, we've just shown the steps that he's taken. 2nd in an Epsom, 4th in a King Charles, 3rd in a Golden Eagle, 2nd Futurity, won an All-Star Mile.
Yep.
He can probably win a Doncaster.
So 3 votes for putting Tom Kitten in with the dad.
Keep tweeting about Tottenham, Davo. They'll get better one day.
Outrageous tweet.
Anyway, back to the leaderboard. Miles Fitznail way out in front on 22 votes. Xavier Pegum, 14. Andrew the Hawk Hawkins on 13. Note, with Hong Kong Champions Day coming up, I expect Hawk to really firm into it.
Hey, Donnelly?
He's on 5, equal with Adam Brett, Adam McGrath, Brad Davidson, Shane Churlio, Mick Gannon. Yeah, there's a few. The Wiz is in front of me. That's all I care
As
about.
he should be.
Yeah, we love the Wiz on this show. All right, before I get to the tips from last weekend, I need to mention to you that Thoroughbred Sales is the #1 online horse platform for owners looking to buy a racehorse with over 130 trainers and syndicators to choose from. Horses will also be eligible to run in their new $4 million race series with over 400 races having a bonus. Check out Thoroughbred Sales today. All right, we need to get into the recap of last weekend. We'll rip through Adam's set at Randwick. He tipped she's an A-lister. Cardiac arrhythmia. So complete forgive. Owner Darren Falvey also suffered cardiac arrhythmia.
Yes.
Next best was drifting. I think we can say she can drift off into the sea forever.
I missed that race, but I did see the result.
Yep. And then he did tip us a winner. Tentris, well tipped in the slipper lead up, race 4, number 2. Got the job done. Unfortunately injured and out for the autumn.
If you are going to tip a winner, might as well be the value bet.
Yeah, it was a nice little tip. And your set over in New Zealand wasn't terrible, so we'll give you a little nudge there from the World Pool preview show that you did.
Different sponsor, mate.
Yeah, but it's okay. We can say there was a set across there, so we can.
I wasn't.
You were enjoying
in,
yourself.
I was in holiday mode.
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest with you.
Yeah, how was we'll get into that. How was New Zealand last week? Obviously, they did have their big meeting.
No, it was fantastic, and the buzz around it was awesome. I'll go chronological. Went to Waikato, saw a few stallions, but I was in Matamata, which is a really small town, but it's where sort of the studs are and the big training centres are, like Tiakau, Lance O'Sullivan. But there was a buzz around. I was lucky enough to go to an event for the big Kiwi race at Te Rapa, and the Te Rapa race course had a slot. And that was really good. They got all the trainers and jockeys there. Huge buzz going into it. And then finally, D-Day. Ellerslie was just shoulder to shoulder.
Nice.
Everyone was having such a good time. And one thing I really liked, which is I think we discussed yesterday, is they do it at Cheltenham. They just got straight into the group racing.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Benchmark
towards the end.
70.
It was
No
bang,
midway.
straight into the group racing. topped off by the Kiwi. They did before the Kiwi, they did a haka before the race in the mounting yard and stuff like that. Something a bit different. But it was really good to see racing sort of going strength to strength over there. They've struggled over the last few years, and really good to see them having a great day, and great to see Aussies making the trip over.
So it's on the list of meetings to hit up.
Oh, 100%. And there's nothing better than Kiwi hospitality.
All right. I don't mind it. Lammy, we'll get to your set at Flemington. We called it on the Thursday. Your best bet, Duke de Sessa. The wrong Mar horse.
Beaten by the stablemate. It was bloody stiff as well. If he gets the run on the inside a bit early, it just got dragged back by a slow one, lost momentum, and then picked up again late. That would have been a nice best bet at upwards of sort of 450 in the end, I think it was.
Tell you what, Middle Earth was absolutely off the map, though. That may be one just if you didn't have it penciled in the black book, throw it in there. Your next best was Fancify. You got beaten by the second best ride of the day because Blake Shin decided to produce the ride of the century in New Zealand.
Yeah, I think Fancify might be in the sack book as well. That's two bad ones in a row. With excuses, two back, but not many excuses on Saturday.
And your best value was so glamorous in a race that nothing much changed.
No, it was backed off the map too. I think it started 450 in the end, so pretty much halved its quote. Close up, but no good.
All right, we need to get to this week's Boom Bet offer from our friends at Boom Bet. Of course, Chris has just sent the email through. They've got a boom odds on Lady Shenandoah in the Coolmore Classic this weekend. If you want to back Lady Shenandoah, you can get $5 with our friends at BoomBet. Of course, check your account to see if that is available to you. Of course, terms and conditions apply. As always, gamble responsibly. But we'll get to the email from Chris this week. In race 5, there is one-way traffic with all the money for Lindemann. Race 8 in the Coolmore, there is a massive amount of interest on Alsafina with a number of big bets early at 23.30. Lady Shenandoah has not attracted much attention as of yet, hence the boom odds offer, and they are expecting a big drift. Caulfield and the Peter Young Stakes, Zardozi has attracted some sharp bets. They think it is under the odds and expect Pride of Jenny to attract a bunch of money late. So of course, get to BoomBet, check out all those odds. Great fixed odds, more value and more boom moments. Sign up today and get in on the boom. Group 1 racing, as said, comes from Rosehill Gardens this weekend. Coolmore Classic, fillies and mares, 1,500 metres. Pigs, you're going through the Rosehill set this week. Who is your top tip in the Coolmore Classic?
Probably no surprises here, but number 4, Lady Shenandoah, trained by, as we all know, Chris Waller, got her at $2.40. There is a bit of class in this race, but let's look at her prep and what she's shown thus far. And in spring, she's shown she's a class above. She's super tough and will have to be that tough on Saturday as well, given the wide draw. But her form shows she's favourite for a reason.
So you're lucky you'll be backing her with BoomBet with their boom odds offer, I suspect.
Absolutely. Responsibly, though.
Yes, of course. Always gamble responsibly. Lammy, you're heading us up at Caulfield this weekend. It's going to be a stinking hot day this Saturday here in Melbourne. And it is Vobis Day there, but your best bet comes up in race number 3.
It does. Before we get to that, I think Alsafina is worth an each-way play in the feature in Sydney.
I'm going to have something on Marble Arch, I think. Big winner the other day in the
I'd put it in my set as a third placer.
It's a good race. Like if you want to bet around the favourites, Corvalante was good first up, as was Firestorm. So
be a nice win for
good race.
Corvalante as well.
My best bet,
Yes.
race 3, number 2, Miss Aria. Very good behind Semangu at this track and distance last start. I think can turn the tables here. There's a 4 kilo swing in the weights, which seems very significant. Tempo was dead against her that day. Semangu, I think Jordan Charles just rolled to the top and absolutely dictated. It was that day where we had the wind. No one wanted to back leaders, and he just got away with murder in front. So I think it'll be a different story here. Can probably be a little bit closer from barrier 3, and I think she should be a fair bit shorter than Semangu in the market. At the moment, they're kind of similar. There might have been a little bit of money for Miss Aria, but she is my best bet on Saturday.
Okay, let's get to your next best. It comes up in what is the feature of the day? It is race 6. It is the Peter Young Stakes, and you're with the early favourite that has been well backed.
I think Zardozi runs down Pride of Jenny here, just with that fitness on her side. And 6-horse race, she's got the draw to stalk Pride of Jenny, or at least have Pride of Jenny in her sight. She probably won't be right on her coattails because Froggy Newitt's come out and said that he's just going to ride Pride of Jenny, as we've seen in the past. They're not going to do anything differently, even though she's first up over 1,800. He's just going to let her roll. She might be a little bit suspect late, so that's why I think Zardozi will get over the top of her. That Blamey Stakes form looks pretty good, the Marble Arch reference. So I think that's a nice launching pad into this, and those two do look to have a fair bit on the rest.
Did someone just asking you about why you're tipping Zardozi? Because I've got Zardozi on top as well in sort of the the punters' tips. Are you still a bit sheepish regarding like Prodigy coming back first up sort of thing? She hasn't historically been a first up horse, but also coming from that sort of that bleed.
Yeah, if both horses were first up, then I probably would go with Pride of Jenny. But the fact that Zardozi has those 2 runs under the belt, and yeah, there's always a question mark on horses first up from a bleed, especially going straight to 1800. I mean, Ma will have a rock hard fit, but there is that question mark. And Saturday, it's going to be pretty testing conditions as well, sort of mid-30s in Melbourne as well. Yep, absolutely.
Yes. So Zardozi is a winner, third up in the past. She has run third in a Group 1 as well. And then last prep, she was fifth, third up in the Kingston Town Stakes, which was genuinely the hottest form race of the spring. Elias beat Chowolf, and there was a stack of winners to come out of it. So third up, she will run a good race. And your value bet comes up in race number 5, which is the Vobis Platinum Guineas.
I was pretty happy to bet around the favourites here. I've gone with Miss Play Lounge. Big odds at 23 when I did the preview. She might have come in at
What was it called?
Miss Play Lounge.
Oh, no, not what you're doing on Saturday night.
No, that's
the horse you tip.
If it wins, I'm likely.
Yeah, 1980 now.
1980. Well, she was well backed at Sandown last up. It was slightly slow away and then was just never a factor at all. It was an on-pace dominated affair. Nothing really made an impact from the back, but she closed off well. I think it was the second fastest final 400 of the race, 22.2 seconds there. And Rise to the Mile is perfect. The only thing is she's drawn out again, so she'll get a fair way back. But I like Mark Zara jumping on here. It's a bit of a sign of intent there. So, yeah, $20 or thereabouts. I think she's worth a bet in an even race.
All right, I like it. Peegs, you're taking over at Rosehill this weekend. We'll get across to there. Of course, it is the last chance saloon for horses trying to get in the Golden Slipper next weekend. Your best bet comes up in the Pago Stakes, and you're with a horse I think that can win the Slipper if he makes the field.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Yes, that's right. I'm with number 1 West of Swindon at 345, courtesy of the Boom Bet odds. 2 starts and 2 second placings for the Qatar-owned Colt. Let's pray he's not the next Verdad with stats like that, although the big fella did just salute a few weeks ago.
Yep.
I think he's been fairly handy in those 2 starts and draws brilliantly in barrier 4 this weekend. So fingers crossed he'll salute and qualify for the old Slipper.
Yeah, after his first up run in the the Golden Gift on debut, I was like, well, this is a Slipper horse waiting to come, and now he's drawn well, ready to go. Your next best comes up in race number 6, being knocked around with scratchings, but is the Far Lap Stakes, and Chris Waller has a great record in this race.
Yeah, well, this is the start of my sort of Chris Waller trifecta. Race 6, number 9, Lazura. She's currently priced at $3.25. Her current form stacks up pretty well this prep, especially coming off her last start, placing third to Lady Shenandoah and Lady of Camelot. They're pretty handy, those 2.
Yeah, they go all right.
Yeah, they're not too bad. Draws well with a barrier 2, which should see her hit the front and cruise in top 4 positioning. 1,500 metres also looks achievable.
Yeah, it's a tick, I reckon.
Can we have another pint bet on this?
Let's do it.
I think the Clichy Boulevard will knock you off.
Bang.
Okay. Love it.
All right, we're on board. I like this.
But none of these bolted $25 points. It'll be draft.
This is where you say, yeah, I'll shout you at Caulfield on Saturday after the Peter Young.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've really missed a tip there.
Yeah.
And then your next best comes up in race number 2. It is a benchmark 78 over the 1,900 metres. This is big odds.
Yeah, no. Race 2, number 4, Unlimited, trained by Chris Waller. We got $18.20 with Boom Bet, which is huge. He's won at the same grade and similar trip earlier this prep. However, struggled last few starts at benchmark 88 levels, sort of draws well at barrier 2, and has shown a nice turn of foot in the past. With juicy odds available with Boom Bet, let's hope he can replicate those efforts on Saturday.
3 kilo clam, nice and handy too, in a race that looks like a bunch of horses going around each other, even though one that down the bottom could be a Derby horse if he was to win. Hurstfield Zagreb, owned by the Sarich family, who have raced Waterford, as we all know on this show.
You cannot go a single show without bringing up Waterford.
When's he back?
It's a really nice bred horse.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the yays and nays of this weekend. Of course, bit going on in the racing world this week. Lammy, you can hit us up with the first one.
Sure. I look forward to your response here. The career of I Wish I Win is one of poor programming and wasted talent. Yay or nay?
Pegs, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I will actually. I'm going to go nay. I'm going to look at it through an ownership perspective. If you're the Chittix, you're pretty happy with the $12 million of prize money that's been won over that time. Hindsight is always an amazing thing, but, you can't, I'm sure they don't regret a lot. Sure, they do regret a lot of the decisions, but at the same time, I think he was an absolute superstar, and I think the purse reflects that.
Big yay on this. Absolutely massive yay that it's been poor programming. His first preparation in Australia, won over 1,400, won the Testarossa, was a bit flat in the Toorak, and then was awesome, winning a Golden Eagle over 1,500 metres. That was on the 29th of October, 2022. It then took, when do we get to there where he has a crack over? No, never raced over further than 1,500 metres again. He was obviously set on an Everest trek after winning the TJ Smith on a heavy track, and then having a whole, basically 2 years programmed around running in the Everest and not just racing every couple of weeks and winning. Look at how much money Bella Nipotina, who basically raced every 3 weeks, it felt like, for the last 2 years, how much money she's made, how many races she's run in. You could have picked up races like the Memsey, the Futurity, the Orr. You could have had a crack at a King Charles. You could have even gone to a Cox Plate. Like he was by Savabeel. So like, I know the Everest is there, but you've got to split the money with slot holders as well. I think they've left, 1, a lot of money, and 2, a lot of wins on the table there by programming around the Everest for 2 years.
I'm going to say nay. I don't think wasted talent and poor programming is a statement that sort of defines his career. I think that would be a bit harsh. I mean, as Peg said, almost 13 million in prize money. I agree with your point. He could have easily won more races.
Could have run more as well.
But it's all well and good to say that now.
They chase the big money races. He won a Golden Eagle and ran second in the Everest.
Yeah. But I did say all along he should have been running more.
I think Peter Moody said something this morning that he could have been an incredible miler, even up to 2,000 metres, but they decided to target those huge money races. Look, if he had been in a different era, I think we would have seen a very different record before these big Sydney races came along. They went for the big money and they pulled it off on one occasion and almost 2. So you can't begrudge them 13 mil in prize money.
Joe Pride's social media crack at Wayne Hawkes on Wednesday afternoon is good for the game. Yay or nay?
Yay. Well, I loved it. For those who haven't seen it, Wayne was on SEN track making some bold statements, as he likes to do.
Just say questioning, he was on SEN track.
questioning whether Chow Wolf had been disappointing or underwhelming this prep. Yeah. And Pride said, "Your rough head is going to look even uglier with egg all over it, Wayno." So good little retort from Pride.
In defense of Joe here, he won the Epsom, and this was all about how he hasn't stepped up to weight for age. So after he won the Epsom, he won the King Charles at weight for age. First up over 1,400 metres, it was a prep run. They got back, rocketed home, solid run. Then he missed a run in the 1,600 metre race. I've completely spaced on what its name was. So he had to run in the Canterbury Stakes last week. If that race had any tempo in it, he probably wins it. He is flying.
He's gone early, Wayne.
To go after 2 starts of a preparation where it's already sort of been mixed because of, a missed run is bad. If this was September 27th and he'd had 6 runs at weight for age and hadn't run yet, I'm on board. Yeah, after 2 runs, come on, Wayne.
He's gone early. He's got to wait till he
There's also a bit of, glass houses, hello, Mars Crusader and Airman.
Also, he's a nice little statement of maybe I've got this wrong.
Yeah.
And I think you have, mate. But I'd have to
It's no offense, but.
Yeah. With all due respect.
Yeah.
It's fantastic for the game. I think sometimes, not just in racing, but in sport in Australia in general, we can all be a bit precious. Yeah. And it's great to see blokes trade blows on social media. It's good theatre, and hopefully see more of it.
Opinions are good for the game.
Exactly. Everyone stop being Switzerland.
Yeah. And then finally, our old mate Lammy that we've been talking about ever since he made his debut, basically this time last year. $210,000 for Railway Man, of course, a $2.5 million yearling. Now sold on English Digital yesterday afternoon. It looks serious overs. Yay or nay?
Yay. He's still got his plums, but they're about to come off because he's on his way to Hong Kong.
Allegedly, because I talked to someone from Hong Kong yesterday who said they have never heard of the mob that has bought it.
But it was a guy that bought it on behalf of a client who wasn't
Okay, so it's
listed.
A bloodstock agent.
Yeah, no, they have. English released a press release today saying that he won't race again in Australia. He'll be off to Hong Kong in 6 months.
Okay.
And he'll lose his plums. But yeah, that seems Seemed a lot for a horse who hasn't shown much at all so far. 7 starts for 70k in prize money, and 50 of that was from the Super Maiden that he won.
So
I think all he has to do is just win 2 races in Hong Kong.
I was going to
It's all
say,
paid off.
with the new permit.
Really do that?
With the new permit
Won a
system
Super
over
Maiden
there.
at Warwick Farm, God's country.
There's new bonuses as well for some of these horses. So if he can win in like a class 3,
Mm.
because the thing is now that he's won a race, he will start off in class 3. He can win one and then somehow win one in class 2. They get like a $1 or $2 million Hong Kong bonus. So that's just straight away like you're well in front. And if you're winning a race, it's worth 120 to you.
It's about 150.
You could see him skimping around on a Wednesday night at Happy Valley in a class 5. Like if he's sound, he can race for the next 5 years. But it's like right now you're like, no, but geez, some of those class 5 races are picnic
Mate,
level.
you win 50 grand just racing at Stanley Market over there. I'd have to agree with you. At the end of the day, he was purely bought on pedigree.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure when they bought him, Coolmore bought him, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure when
Coolmore and the crew.
Coolmore bought him, straight up, he would have given the old spiel of, yeah, no, Tommy's a nice mover. It's got great scalp. You know, the mare's a Group 1 winner, Oakley Plate winner, and all that sort of stuff. But like, obviously, Mare is a Group 1 winner, and those bloodlines can pay off sometimes. I guess just in this case, who knows? Maybe we're jumping the gun, and he's a late type.
Well, we were in the office when he had his first ever run, and I think I said straight away, coming to an English digital sale near you. It's making him set.
He's a big horse too. I don't know how
Yeah.
he'll go around
Happy Valley.
16 hands.
Maybe without the plums out, like when We're Gonna Rock. He's the most famous one. That when he got gelded,
Lose a
he
bit
sort
of condition on the way over.
exactly trimmed out. But yeah, very very interesting. And geez, you'd love
One to keep an eye on anyway.
yeah, you'd love to have the money of a Coolmore stud to spend on them. But anyway, that'll have us done and dusted this week on Hold All Tickets. Of course, thank you to our sponsors, Boombet. Great fixed odds, more value, and more boom moments. Sign up today and get in on the boom. Thank you, Lammy. Can your team bounce back Saturday night?
Bloody hope so. They were very disappointing against GWS, but I think they line up pretty well against Port Adelaide without Butters.
Yeah, Dan Houston, first game for Collingwood, just happens to be against Port.
Yep, good scheduling.
Prayers that my team can bounce back against the Lions. I said they'll start 0-3, so I'm tipping Brisbane. Pigs, good to see you, mate.
Yeah, good to be here.
And of course, get around us on all of the social media channels. Of course, it is YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X. I think we've got a TikTok channel. I don't know if we use it. It's probably there. But make sure you also follow all of our other shows that we do have here on the network as well. So we've got AFL Today. That is up and cranking this season with everything going on at the moment now that round 1's back. We are in 3 times a week in the studio, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. AFLW Today will be back later in the season. If you like the Sydney Swans, True Bloods are now on board with us as well. And if you like Wally, well, he's got his show Honest Beers as well. Of course, he is doing pitching punters with us throughout the autumn as well. He cancelled on us this week because he tipped another winner. That's how well Wally is going at the moment. But we are done and dusted this week on Hold All Tickets. We'll be back next week. It is Golden Slipper Day from Rosehill Gardens. We'll catch you then.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.